Another cool transformation, I'm going to show you a couple more ways you can transform your objects in Illustrator. So one of them is called Transform Again. So I've got this yellow star with a blue stroke around it. And what if I want to increase the size of it? I want to scale it. And I'm not really sure how much I want to scale it. Well, I can say, let's see, let's try scaling it. 100% would be the same size, so I'm going to put 100% back in there. But I'm going to try to scale it just, I just want it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to say 105%. Okay, so you see it just got a little bit bigger. But what if I'm like, oh, that's not quite big enough, but I don't want to keep going back in there? Well, you can use the Transform Again command. And it's right under the Object menu. And you pick Transform and Transform Again. And just so you know, you can also use the shortcut of Command D or Control D on your PC. I'm on a Mac. If you can just remember, it's kind of like duplicate, but instead of duplicating the object, you're actually duplicating the effect. So that's what I'm going to do. So keep your eye on the star. I'm going to click on this, and you see it got a little bit bigger. Now I'm just going to use my keys. I'm going to do Command D, and you can see it just gets a little bit bigger. So you can do that with any of the transform tools. All right, so the other thing that you can do is transform each. And so if you look at this group of squares, they're a bunch of different, they're separate objects, right? Now, if I was to do a rotate on that, it would rotate one at a time, right? Or, let me undo that. If I was to select them all and do a rotate, it actually thinks of them as all one object, and so when I click and drag, they rotate as one object, and their relationship to each other does not change, right? Alright, so I'm going to undo that. But what if I want them to stay where they are, but each of them rotate? Well, you can do that too. Back up here under Object and under Transform, right here it's called Transform Each, and there is a shortcut to it, but it's so convoluted. I mean, you can do what you want to do. I think it's Option. I never remember if this is Option or Control, but Option Shift Command D. But anyway, so I'm going to click on this, and you watch the squares and see what happens with them. Oh, well, I forgot. Yes, you get a dialog box. This makes it actually much easier. So you can do quite a few things in the Transform Each dialog box. You can change the scale or the size, either horizontally or vertically or both. You can have it move a certain amount of space, either up or down or side to side. Or you can have it rotate. So I'm gonna show you how it would look if I'll put like 45 degrees in there. I want it to rotate 45 degrees, and I want to see what it looks like before it takes effect. So I'm going to check the preview box, and now watch the little squares. And see, they stayed where they were, but they all individually rotated. Their relationship to each other stayed the same, but they all rotated. Random's kind of cool. Uncheck that so that I can't see. And if you click random and then click preview, you can see they all rotated 45 degrees in one way or the other way. So it's kind of a cool way to kind of get a, if you want to, rather than, if you put a bunch of, I kind of think of like 80s designs, and we used a lot of squares and diamonds and circles and stuff in our designs, and you would have to take each one and individually rotate them and make them different sizes. Well, you could do that with the Transform Each and use the random with the size too. So I can do this and it would change the size in a random, or not. Right? All right, and then the other thing is there's this little control box right here. This can determine the point of origin. You can see the point of origins right there, but you can kind of change that. It's such a little diagram, but you can actually do something on it. And it doesn't change the point of origin, but it changes from where this effect will take place. It's kind of weird. Alright, so I'm going to say OK, and there I go. And I'm going to deselect them, and that's transform again, which is what I did with the star, and transform each, which is what I did with the squares, and it's under object, and the